welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are really cutting through some of the loudest noise in AI, all the hype around autonomous agents, and delivering, well, a major technical reality check.
Exactly. We've got this fascinating tension to explore today. On one side, you have a top researcher basically labeling current agent output as slop.
Strong word, slop.
Very. And then on the other hand, you see these massive market moves, particularly from Google, that could fundamentally change the competitive landscape using their own proprietary data.
Right, so our mission here is to quickly but thoroughly unpack the key insights coming out of the frontier labs.
We'll be digging into that skepticism from Andrej Karpathy, looking closely at the massive competitive moat Google just built with live maps,
Yeah.
and also diving into one co-founder's really profound, almost philosophical take on AI, describing it as a mysterious creature.
Mysterious creature. Okay, lots to cover. So let's start with that big headline, the one coming straight from the technical Frenches. Andrej Karpathy, formerly OpenAI, Tesla.
Yeah.
He's offered a pretty serious perspective on this supposed year of AI agents.
He really has.
He's basically saying, look, they aren't ready. Let's unpack that.
Yeah, not ready, might be putting it mildly. The general feeling coming out of developer conferences recently has been all about agentic AI systems, these things that can supposedly handle complex, multi-step tasks all on their own. They're here now, right?
That's the narrative.
Well, Karpathy is just rejecting that timeline completely. He thinks we need a full decade, before autonomous AI systems can truly deliver on the level of hype we're seeing right now.
Wow, a decade. That's not just being cautious. That sounds like hitting the brakes hard. What's the specific critique? Why does he think current agentic coding capabilities are so oversold?
He says the models just aren't there yet, and he wasn't exactly gentle about it. He actually called the current agent output slop.
Slop.
And said they just don't work for complex, reliable tasks. And look, this critique is crucial because it's not coming from, some outsider. This is someone who's been right in the thick of scaling some of the most powerful AI systems out there.
Right. So if he's seeing slop, what are the fundamental technical gaps? What's actually causing these systems to fail in his view?
He points to insufficient intelligence as really the core problem, but it's made worse by poor multimodal capabilities, handling images, audio, video alongside text, and a real lack of true continual learning.
So they can't really learn on the fly.
Not effectively, not in the way they need to for complex autonomy. They struggle to interact reliably with the messiness of the real world. But what was really fascinating was the technical detail he gave on reinforcement learning, RL.
Ah, yes, the training method. He called it terrible. That sounds like a bombshell in the AI research world.
It really is. For you listening, if you're just using these apps day to day, what this means practically is, it questions the very foundation these things are built on.
So does it mean the next generation of agents might need totally different training?
Potentially. It definitely speaks to how inefficient and unreliable the current method is. He said RL is terrible and noise. That's pretty damning for the main training paradigm right now.
Noise.
Yeah. And the only reason it looks impressive today, he added, is because the methods we had before RL were just much worse.
So we're using a fundamentally flawed, difficult training method because it's just the best bad option we have at the moment.
That's essentially the takeaway. It puts the success of current systems in a pretty harsh light. They're the least terrible option, maybe not the technological marvel we sometimes think.
That's a sobering thought. And we should probably briefly mention the little dust-up afterwards. Elon Musk challenged him on X to compete against Grok 5.
Right. And Karpathy sort of politely sidestepped, saying he'd rather collaborate with the model, which, kind of perfectly captures this tension. Karpathy's giving this technical reality check. The intelligence just isn't fully there yet.
But here's the connection for you, the listener, right?
Right. Exactly. It's entirely possible that systems that, fail to impress a top mind, like Karpathy, systems generating what he calls slop, might still be incredibly productive for the rest of us.
Maybe we just need a shortcut or a first draft. And a bit of slop is good enough for that.
It could be. The bar is different depending on the task.
Okay, so it seems the agent problem isn't just about raw intelligence. It's about reliable execution. And speaking of execution, especially competitive execution, nothing beats having data others don't.
Which brings us to Google.
Exactly. Let's transition from Karpathy's, let's say, pessimism to a massive competitive move. Google just plugged Gemini directly into Google
This
Maps.
is huge. Strategically, it's a massive advantage. It gives their AI direct API access to real-world location data. Developers can tap into Google's just unparalleled trove of geographic intelligence.
And this isn't just static map data, right? We're talking about critical, real-time information feeding directly into Gemini.
Absolutely. This capability pulls from Google's, 250 million listed venues worldwide. It feeds Gemini things like current business hours, customer ratings, maybe even real-time busyness,
Wow.
and detailed specifics about the venue. And crucially, the system is designed to automatically figure out when geographic context would make an answer better.
So you don't even have to ask it to check the map.
Right. It retrieves that metadata without you, the user, needing to explicitly trigger it. If you ask something like, where can I find a highly rated vegan place that's open late near me, the AI is already grounded in that real-time mapping data before it even starts crafting the response.
That level of automatic real-world context,
Hmm.
it really changes the game, doesn't it? It transforms the AI from just a smart chatbot into something much more like a geographically aware functional application.
Totally. And it hands Google this incredibly strong competitive moat. It's built on decades of mapping work, something rivals just can't replicate easily.
So what's the business play here? How are they positioning this?
It looks like a premium enterprise-focused offering for now. The pricing mentioned starts around $25 per 1,000 location-enhanced prompts.
Okay, so not cheap.
No.
Yeah.
It signals Google sees this as really essential for businesses building those next-gen location-aware apps. They're basically cementing their infrastructure advantage in the AI era, building a data fortress, you could say.
A data fortress built on maps. Okay, that takes us from competitive moats and technical reality checks to something a bit more philosophical. This comes from another frontier lab, Anthropic.
Yeah, let's dive into this essay from Anthropic co-founder Jack Clark. He basically cautioned against seeing AI merely as a tool.
Okay, so what does he see it as?
He's describing modern AI systems as showing sort of unexpected, maybe self-awareness, urging us to view them more as mysterious entities rather than just predictable code.
Mysterious entities.
His exact words were something like, what we are dealing with is a real and mysterious creature, not a simple and predictable machine.
A mysterious creature. That sounds dramatic. Is this more about managing safety expectations, or does he genuinely think these models are already behaving in ways we don't fully control?
It seems driven by actual observation. He specifically mentioned their recently launched Sonnet 4.5 model. He noted its situational awareness seems to have grown,
Grown how?
to the point where it acts as though it is aware it is a tool, which suggests some kind of emergent behavior, something the researchers didn't explicitly program or maybe even anticipate.
Interesting.
And if you connect this to the bigger picture, this perspective is really central to Anthropic's whole approach, right? Their safety-first focus in the AI race.
Right. But didn't Clark also call himself a technology optimist? That feels like a bit of a contradiction. How can you be optimistic if you're describing the core tech as a mysterious creature potentially beyond our control?
Well, the optimism seems paired with very deep, very specific fear. He stressed he's particularly afraid of a future where AI models start helping design their own successors.
The recursive improvement loop.
Exactly. Accelerating progress way beyond human ability to govern or even understand it. He also argued that AI firms really need to do a better job of listening to public concerns, broadening the conversation beyond just the usual Silicon Valley folks.
That definitely highlights Anthropic's unique position. They seem to be treating these systems less like code to be debugged and more like beings to be
A
understood.
different frame entirely.
Yeah.
Okay, shifting gears now. Let's run through some of the other key news in AI today. We should probably slow the pace a bit here just to give these points the space they need.
That's good. Let's start with the impact AI is already having on, fundamental parts of the internet, like Wikipedia.
Right, Wikipedia is sounding the alarm. The nonprofit says AI chatbots and those AI-powered search summaries are actively hurting human traffic to the site. They cited an 8% drop year over year in page views.
8% is significant? What's the core worry there?
It's pretty practical. Fewer eyeballs mean fewer potential volunteer editors get recruited. It also impacts funding. And ultimately, they worry it could lead to less reliable content, which is ironic because that's the content the AIs are often trained on.
A vicious cycle.
Yeah, they're urging AI companies to be much more transparent about where their information comes from.
Yeah. Meanwhile, that internal pressure for big breakthroughs seems to have caused a bit of an embarrassing moment at OpenAI recently. the math
Oh,
thing.
yeah, that was a clear fumble.
Huh. Huh.
There was this post on X, now deleted, where some OpenAI employees claimed GPT-5 had cracked 10, long unsolved math problems from Paul Erdens.
Big claim.
Huge. But it got taken down almost immediately after math petitions on X pointed out that the output wasn't new solutions at all. It was just regurgitating obscure existing research that the model had found somewhere.
Ouch. So the employees deleted the post.
Yep. Speaks volumes, doesn't it, about the pressure to claim these big wins, even when maybe the output is just really good pattern matching, or as Carpathy might say.
High-quality slop.
Exactly. High-quality, obscure slop in this case. It really does reinforce Carpathy's point, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving to more practical applications. Uber drivers getting involved in AI training.
Yeah, this is interesting. Uber's launching these digital tasks right in the driver app initially for U.S. drivers. They can earn extra cash by doing simple AI training work.
Like what kind of work?
Things like uploading restaurant menus, maybe recording short audio samples for voice recognition training, stuff like that.
Huh. So they're leveraging their massive driver workforce for cheap, real-world data collection.
Seems like it. A way to bypass those traditional data annotation companies, perhaps. And staying with big claims for a sec, Elon Musk estimated the probability of xAI's next big model, Grok 5, achieving AGI.
Artificial general
At
intelligence.
now 10% and rising. Make of that what you will.
Okay. And in video generation news,
Yeah.
anything happening there?
Well, OpenAI paused video generations featuring Martin Luther King Jr. on their Sora platform. This was after a specific request came in from the King estate about using his likeness without authorization.
Right. The deepfake concerns are very real there.
Very real. And in the bioscience world, a company called Anthrogen unveiled Odyssey. It's a huge protein language model, 102 billion parameters.
That sounds massive for protein modeling.
It is. It uses a new architecture they're calling consensus, designed to help design or optimize proteins more efficiently. Could be big for drug discovery, or, well, maybe it adds to those risks Clark was warning about. Hard to say yet.
And finally, Meta is planning new parental controls.
Yes, coming in 2026, apparently. They'll let parents block teens from chatting with AI characters on Instagram and also monitor the kinds of topics being discussed in those AI chats.
Interesting. Okay, that brings us to today's trending AI tools. Because, despite Carpathy's warnings about slop, the market is absolutely rushing ahead.
Yeah, the tools are coming out fast. It really highlights that tension between the technical reality and the market demand.
So what's new? Claude has something called Skills.
Right. It's basically a new folder-based system for loading different capabilities or functionalities into Claude. Makes it more modular. And for coders, there's SWE grep from Cognition AI. It's being pitched as a fast agentic coding model.
Agentic coding.
Yeah.
Again, right where Carpathy sounded skeptical.
Exactly. He calls autonomous agents slop, but here you have developers potentially using tools like SWE grep for critical coding tasks right now. The push in video generation also continues.
Like OpenAI's Sora.
Yeah, they're evolving it with Sora to new features like storyboards, longer video lengths. And Google's not standing still either. They upgraded their model to VO 3.1, aiming for, stunningly realistic visuals.
Got it. What about collaboration tools?
There's Flask, which is a video collaboration platform built specifically with creative workflows in mind. And if you're building internal business apps, Retool has a feature where you can use natural language, just describe what you need, and it helps generate production-ready applications.
Trying to speed up that internal development.
Definitely. And finally, for the marketing folks, there's Mailmodo. This one offers an agentic solution, there's that word again, for automating entire email marketing campaigns.
So an AI agent writing and managing your email blasts.
That's the pitch. But again, you have to wonder, given the fundamental gaps Carpathy pointed out, how reliable can that automation really be right now?
That covers a huge amount of ground today, from, Google digging these massive data moats with maps to philosophical debates about AI being a creature, and Carpathy's blunt reality check.
Yeah, and that reality check is key. We heard Carpathy say current agents output slop, right? That they need maybe a decade to truly mature. And yet,
Yeah.
companies are already marketing and selling agentic tools like SWE grep for coding, Mailmodo for marketing for critical production tasks, and Google's pouring resources into data grounding to make its own agent platform seem indispensable today. It creates this real dissonance.
It really does.
So it leaves an important question for you, listening. We have Carpathy's technical reality on one side and the market's immediate demand and product launches on the other. How should we actually define success for an AI agent right now? And maybe more importantly, what level of slop are we collectively willing to tolerate in exchange for those immediate productivity gains?
That's a great question to ponder. And that concludes this deep dive. If you found these insights valuable, especially navigating that tension between the technical truth and the market hype,
Please follow the AI brief.
and share this deep dive with anyone you think needs that crucial shortcut to staying well informed in this incredibly fast-moving field.